Fire away, Leslie.
Okay, here we've got a question from Mandy. Where and how do I buy gold? I take it it's not gold jewellery we need to buy, and how would I use it if they get rid of cash? I feel very naive.
Well, Mandy, everything's on the website when it comes to buying and selling it. I have an affiliation with a company called Pure Gold, and they have a consultancy service. So you get in touch with them and you can talk to a consultant there, and he will tell you what you can buy, how much it costs, and their selling terms and everything that you need to know. That's really nothing to do with me. I'm only looking at the strategic level, but you find them very helpful. Very nice people and very reputable. But you can find there are other dealers. There are other dealers. But if you go to my website, you'll find that's exactly how to work.
And Derek would like to know when and at what best price is a good time to buy gold?
Well, I wish I knew the answer to those kind of questions, because timing's everything, isn't it? But gold is not like stocks and shares. Gold is a strategic preserver of wealth, of money. So there's no special time because you're buying it for the long term. So if you go back when I was first buying it, it might have been £600 an ounce or something. I can't remember if it's £610 or 650. It really doesn't matter because it's £1,500 an ounce now. So when timing on gold is a strategic reserve is not of the same kind of relevance it is maybe with residential houses or stocks or shares. So there's no good term or bad term. What you don't want to do is get sucked into trying to trade it or buy it short term. And then that question doesn't really arise. It's a strategic holding. And when you come back in years to come, it will have maintained its spending value.
Next question from Alan. I'm thinking of buying gold mining stocks for my granddaughters with a 10 to 15 year maturity to get them past the current economic madness. Can you suggest any respected companies?
Well, the theory is if you buy gold mining stocks and you have a run in the bull market in the price of gold, shares outperform gold in specie. That's the theory. It doesn't really quite work as effectively as that, in my view, in my experience. I hold a lot of gold shares, but I've rather unwound those positions in favour of specie. But if you want a good, what you really want is a broad spread, so you need a unit trust, and the most prestigious, if you will, experienced unit trust in matters of gold mining is BlackRock Gold & General. I'm unwinding my BlackRock positions on a matter of principle at the moment because I don't like where the company is going any more than I like Goldman Sachs. I think at the top it's corrupt. But if you want to buy shares in gold, BlackRock and Gold & General is the one to do. But if I were you, for your children in 10 to 15 years, you'd be better with a box of gold sovereigns to give them, in my view, much easier, much crisper, and slightly less risky. That's my view.
Francis wants to know, how is gold protected if money crashes? How would you determine value, etc.?
What you've got to understand is that gold is money, all right? Fiat currency, paper currency, is just a medium of exchange. So your real value is in gold, which paper currency fluctuates against. So, for example, if we had a cottage restored in the last few months, I sold some gold to do that, and obviously I exchanged it for pounds. And I paid the bills for my artisans to do that in pounds. So you unwind your gold position to the extent that you need that cash to actually do something specific. But you'll find that gold is money, and JP Morgan said this, I think, in 1912. Only gold is money, everything else is credit. So never confuse gold, which is money, with paper money, which is actually credit. So all that happens is if you want to cash it in 10 years' time, you'll buy more of whatever the medium of exchange is in 10 years' time than you otherwise would have done if you'd hung on to it, because it degrades. And if you look at that from the Nixon closure of the gold window in 1971, the 1971 United States dollar today is worth 6 cents. So you'd be better off buying gold, and you come back 10 or 20 or 30, 40 years later and you buy many more dollars. You buy many more dollars. And that's not going to be changed. Even if they change to cryptocurrency, digital currency, it doesn't matter what they do in the future. Gold will just buy more of that stuff so you can pay window cleaners, artisans, cab drivers, and all the rest of it. So don't let that concern you. It's not relevant.
Next from Steve. Couldn't they crash the value of gold as well as the banks?
Well, the thing is, gold has been a store of wealth for 5,000 years. Banks come and go, politicians come and go, bankers come and go. So they can suppress, as they do, the price of gold by allowing traders to trade short, naked short selling gold that they don't have in the marketplace, and the big banks do that all the time. But you can only do that for a limited period of time. You can't crash the price of gold because it's international demand. Who's been buying the most gold in the last 4 or 5 years? It's been the central banks. So they have no interest, the central banks, in crashing gold. They are acquiring it. What is more likely that they will revalue it upwards, but we don't quite know how that's going to work out in the future because it's unprecedented. But certainly the best way to go is if you have gold in specie, and then you can, it doesn't matter which way the cat jumps, you're going to be with it. As most of you know, my work is very heavily independently research based, and I get my information from all over the world. It would help if you press the subscribe button and the little bell next to it, because the more subscribers I have, the more likely it is that international independent research institutes will share their material with me. It's most helpful, and then of course I automatically share it with you. So surprise, won't cost you anything. Thank you very much.